What on earth is finger meat? Well, let me tell you, it is this super delicious, melt in your mouth cut of beef that is just amazing. Hey everyone, I'm Flo, Dude is behind the camera, and we're all about simple food, simple faith. Finger meat, oh my goodness. When I first discovered finger meat, it was probably like this past year, I started to see it in a lot of the markets and I wondered what it was. So I bought a pack because it was on sale, and it turns out that it's, well, actually quite fatty. It's similar to short rib. And well, that makes sense because finger meat is actually the meat in between the ribs. And so it's called finger meat because they're long, like a finger, I guess.
Pretty gross name, but really tasty.
Yep, when cooked right, it is delicious and melt in your mouth.
And tastes nothing like real fingers.
But before we start, I just want to say a huge thank you for all of you who took time to wish me a happy birthday. It was a milestone birthday, a whole half century old. Thanks again. All right, we are making a barbecue style rib today, and I am going to put a dry rub on the meat, and we're going to throw it in the Instant Pot and cook it down. So I'm starting off with a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And I have 3 pounds of meat there. So I'm adding a tablespoon of salt. I mean, it's basically a teaspoon per pound. I'm going to do a teaspoon of ground pepper, or however much you can grind. I usually go until my hands get tired. Good enough?
Yep. Are your hands tired?
Yeah. All right, using a tablespoon of paprika. So 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon. I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. If you have your own favorite rub that you like to use, just use that. You don't have to use my recipe. Okay, just mixing this up. A similar recipe is in my cookbook Elevated that I used for the barbecue beef ribs. And basically I just doubled all the spices, but kept the sugar and salt the same. All right, so with the finger meat, some of them can be quite fatty. So I removed a lot of the fat, and I'm just keeping the rest, whatever is left on there, because yeah, it is quite fatty. So I have used finger meat for stews, anything that I would normally use, either a stewing meat or short ribs. I find the finger meat works really, really well. And what else have I used it for? Oh, I've also ground it up for hamburgers, and it's like super tasty. There's a lot you can do with this finger meat, and I find when it goes on sale, it's pretty inexpensive, especially when stew meat I find can be expensive and I don't really like stew meat because there's a lot of chunks in there that are much drier, and it's because it's like the bits and pieces of meat that the butcher can't use and they just toss it in and sell it as stew meat, right? I'm just adding my rub, and I'm just going to massage it into the meat. And if you have time to marinate this for about 1/2 hour, it might be helpful. But I'm just going to stick it all into the Instant Pot today, and I think it'll be just fine. Okay, I already have about 1/2 cup of water and a trivet in my Instant Pot. And I really like using a dry rub with the meat because it penetrates the meat and it sticks to it. It doesn't like run off like a sauce. I'm just gonna kind of evenly place the meat in here, and we're gonna cook this. See, I just wanna show you. Everything went into the meat, no dry rub left. I guess I should put the lid on, huh?
Yeah, good idea. Brilliant, in fact.
All right, putting the lid on, locking it into place, making sure the sealing knob is on sealing. And we're going to high pressure for half an hour. And that is it. Pretty simple. All right, that was a really quick half an hour because the pressure came up really quickly, only took, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. I quick released the pressure, and I'm taking off that sealing knob because it always falls off. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. It looks really good too. What I love about pressure cooking these ribs is that it renders the fat really, really well. And I'm gonna lay them down on a pan, a sheet pan, because I'm gonna throw them under the broiler with some barbecue sauce. I'm just using a bottled sauce, and you can make your own barbecue sauce or use your favorite sauce. It's totally up to you. As you can see, I'm using tin foil today instead of parchment paper, which I normally use, just to be safe.
Come on, it's just a broiler. Live dangerously, Flo.
I'm just gonna baste this with some barbecue sauce. And you know what? If you don't wanna throw it under a broiler, you can toss it on your grill. But this barbecue sauce I'm using is really yummy. It's Kansas style barbecue sauce. It's smoky and sweet. All right, I'm just saucing one side because, you know, I'm kind of lazy like that. And I'm gonna stick this under the broiler until it browns on top. It'll take about 3 minutes, and I'm putting it quite close to the broiler. But if you want, you can also flip them over and barbecue sauce the other side and also brown it. But I'm just gonna do the one side. I think that'll be enough. Imagine how much tastier this would be if it went on a grill. Hint, hint. Dude won't let me get a grill this summer. Can you believe that?
I never said that. Hey, you know what this reminds me of? Is boneless back ribs.
Yes, that is exactly what this would be like. Boneless ribs.
With a gruesome name.
Finger meat. Are you all ready for?
Oh yeah. The taste. When Flo first told me about this cut of meat with the gruesome name, I thought, what on earth? Finger meat? Little did I know that it's a very tasty piece of meat and takes well to the different forms of using it, like stew, and in this case, boneless barbecue ribs. All right, this one looks good. Ooh. As I've said before, the dry rub on the meat, it just makes it so much more tasty. And you know me, lazy eater, low effort food makes me happy. No bones, just put it in mouth, chew, enjoy.
And you were able to just cut it with a fork.
Yeah, did you see that? It's tender. Whoa, Wow, that flavor goes right through the meat. Wow, tender. So good, so much taste, so much flavor, and not worrying about the bones is indeed such an experience. It's good, it's real good. Do it,
Thanks, dude.
eat it.
Did you see how simple that was? So while the ribs are cooking, you can make your sides, like a potato salad or mashed potatoes or a green salad, whatever you like. For more barbecue flavors, check it out. I will see you over there.